I got a theory. Is the word Akata a mystery? Do we really know the history? I'm Nigerian, born in America. So this is 5 minutes with an Akata?
Oye, my people, black people, good people, all peoples.
You're in season 3, where I speak with folks from different African countries, and today I speak with Sar. We only got 5 minutes. Oh yeah, let's get into this. Hey, Sar.
Hey, what's up, Iyore?
Thank you so much for joining me for 5 minutes with an Akata, ?
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be here.
What does the word Akata mean?
So for me, I've always heard the term used in regards to either African Americans or Africans who are far removed from their country of origin.
And so when you say you've always heard it, and give people context. Where are you from? What's your nationality? What's your ethnicity, rather? What do you identify yourself to be?
Sure. I'm Sierre Leonean American. I've been in America since 1994. I do visit, back and forth pretty often, but since I've been here and I've sort of, been part of the melting pot for this long, I definitely, identify as an American, of course.
Gotcha. Okay. And when you hear this word being used in a negative connotation, who are you hearing it from? And you ain't got to put nobody on blast if you don't want to. But are you hearing this from family, friends, parents, coworkers? From the Sierra Leonean community. How are you all using Akata?
Honestly, Sierra Leoneans don't use it as much. I think the times I did hear it were back in the college days. And I'm, outside of being a Christian, just as a person, I'm very sensitive when it comes to terms that are negative or people find negative. So whether the N word or, the C word or whatever it is, like I'm very sensitive to that. So I usually try to stay away from folks who utilize words that, other people find offensive.
Interesting. So you would say that people from Sierra Leone know about the word, but maybe they don't use it as much from your experience? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. And most Sierra Leoneans that do know of the word are the ones, at least from my experience, who are, not in Sierra Leone. So diasporas, whether, UK, Americas, or wherever, those are the folks that usually have used the word. But back home, we usually don't use that. Now, I may hear like, you know, other terms like Oyibo or something like that a lot more, but I definitely don't hear Akata as much as I've heard here.
And so my next question is, do you see a gap between Africans and African Americans?
Definitely. I mean, the rise of ADOS and other things like that, you definitely can tell there's a divide there. It's been a divide for decades now, but I think part of that divide is definitely lack of understanding and cultural, um, I guess, uh, nuances. Like we don't understand the different nuances of cultures and how that is reflected in the same culture. So a lot of things that are within, let's just say the Sierra Leonean culture exists in the African American culture, whether it's like the types of foods we like to eat, whether it's, dances and things like that. They have different forms, but it's essentially the same when it comes to like roots and whatnot. But I don't know. I just think a lot of it's just misunderstanding.
And then the last question I have for you is, what similarities do you see between Africans and African Americans?
A hustler's ability to try to make things work, and trying to figure it out as you go along. That's definitely, just like what you're doing now. I see that in a lot of African Americans that I've worked with. And not saying it doesn't exist in other cultures, but that's definitely a similarity I see there.
Well, Sar, thank you so much for joining me. I enjoyed our conversation.
I thank you, Iyore. I'm glad to be a part.
Maybe you know the true definition of Akata. If so, let me know. If you like this episode, subscribe, rate, share, and help spread the hope of unity. On Hiyan Zekbe, y'all. I leave you with love, joy, faith, hope. Peace.
LAM.